Evan Cade hadn't meant to shock anyone on his first day living off-world. He'd come to Tarshan, a humid purple-skied moon on the far side of the Helion Rift, because it was cheap, safe, and, according to the travel agency, mostly tolerant of humans. Mostly. Whatever that meant. He dragged his duffel bag across the mossy landing platform, half expecting someone to yell at him for trespassing. The spaceport was tiny, barely more than a landing pad, an office, and a crooked metal arch that declared, "Welcome, Outworlder guests. Declare all tentacles openly." Evan exhaled. He had none of those. Waiting beside a floating scooter was his new landlady, arms crossed impatiently.
Kara.
She was tall, easily 8 feet, slender yet muscular in a coiled way, with silvery green skin and eyes shaped like brilliant sapphires. 4 fingers per hand, 2 thin sensory tendrils that framed her jaw. Pretty in an alien way. She also looked like she'd rather be anywhere else. "You are the human who sent payment ahead?" she asked, voice firm and brisk. "That's me," Evan replied, offering a smile. "Evan Cade." She clicked her tongue. "We have many rules in my lodging house. Many. If you break them, I will eject you personally." "Understood?" "Crystal clear." "Good." She gestured to the scooter. "Follow." As they flew toward her lodging house, really more of a sprawling tree-like structure woven from living vines, Evan took in the strange beauty of Tarshan, glowing plants, shimmering insects, and a horizon painted like melted gold. Kara parked and led him inside. "Your room is on the east side," she said. "Do not track mud. Do not damage the woven floors. And above all," her head tendrils twitched, "do not shed fluids everywhere." Evan blinked. I wasn't planning to. "Humans are messy," she muttered. "Everyone says so." Evan had no idea what she meant, but he went along with it. He just wanted a quiet place to live. This moon, however, had other plans for him, and especially for Kara. The incident. Evan had lived in Kara's home for 3 peaceful weeks. Peaceful for him, anyway. Kara, on the other hand, seemed constantly on edge. She'd stare at him whenever he walked by, then stare away when he looked back. Her tendrils would twitch whenever he lifted something heavy, or climbed the stairs, or reached for something on a high shelf. It was like she was studying him, or waiting for him to malfunction. One evening, after a dusty work shift installing solar conduits, Evan returned home drenched in sweat. Tarshan humidity didn't play around. He stepped into the bathing alcove attached to his room, basically a self-cleaning shower orb, and stripped out of his grimy clothes. The orb was supposed to mimic fog around the user, but tonight it malfunctioned with a sharp ping, leaving him standing completely, unmistakably exposed. At that exact moment, the door to his alcove slid open. Kara stood there holding a cleaning kit, mid-step, eyes widening to the size of suns. They locked eyes. She froze. Evan froze. Then her gaze traveled downward. And stayed there. And stayed there. Her jaw dropped so far he was sure her facial muscles were tearing. "Whoa," she croaked. "Kara."
"Door."
"Please." But she didn't close it. She didn't move at all. Instead, she whispered, horrified and fascinated, "Humans are built like that?" Evan slapped both hands over himself. "Can we talk about this later?" No. Wait." Her voice cracked as she stumbled backward. "That is not biologically reasonable. How do you stay upright? How do your legs not break? Why is it there?" "Close the door, Kara." She slammed the door so fast the air suction rattled. Evan buried his face in his hands.
"Great.
Now my alien landlord thinks humans are terrifying. Or worse, abominations. The aftermath. For the next 2 days, Kara avoided him as if he carried a black hole in his pocket. When she finally confronted him, her eyes were full of caution. "I must ask," she said stiffly, "was what I saw normal?" Evan sighed. "Yes, Kara. It's normal. For humans." She pressed a trembling hand to her forehead. "Our males only develop during mating season. And even then, they barely reach the size of your human appendage." "Yeah, humans don't have mating seasons." She blinked. "You what?" "We're fertile year-round." Kara reeled, like she'd been shoved. "That is biologically irresponsible." Evan rubbed his temples. "We evolved that way." "No wonder the other tenants warned me," she exclaimed. "They said humans leak fluid constantly, that humans are unpredictable, that humans will impregnate anything with a pulse." Whoa, okay, that's not. "And the size," she continued, flustered. "Do your females survive it?" Kara. She clamped her hands over her mouth, mortified. Evan took a slow breath. "Look, it was an accident. The shower broke. You walked in. End of story. Let's just forget it." But Kara did not forget it. If anything, she became even more distracted by him. Her tendrils twitched whenever he bent over. She darted away any time he sat too close. She gasped whenever he picked up heavy crates. "You carry such mass so casually," she mumbled once, thinking he couldn't hear. He heard, and he wasn't sure what to think. Middle, the danger arrives. One night, the peaceful glow lights of the house flickered. Kara stiffened instantly. "They're here," she whispered.
Who?
"The Rulviks. Bandits. They roam this region demanding payment. I cannot afford them this cycle." A loud slam echoed from outside. Kara grabbed a kitchen knife, not much of a weapon against the heavily armored reptilian Rulviks. Evan stepped forward. "I'll handle it." "You,"
Kara hissed.
"You have no armor, no claws, no venom." The door burst open. A hulking Rulvik, scales dark as oil, stomped into the entryway. "Payment," he snarled.
Now.
Kara stepped in front of Evan. "We do not have it this cycle. Please give us time." "No," the Rulvik raised his weapon. Evan didn't think. He lunged. Humans weren't the strongest species, but they were fast, reactive, and stubborn as hell. He smashed his shoulder into the Rulvik, knocking the creature back. Shock rippled across its face. "You attacked me?" it growled. Evan braced.
Yeah.
"And I'll do it again." They fought brutally, claws against fists, scales against skin. Evan wasn't winning, but he wasn't losing either. His determination alone seemed to stun the Rulvik. When Evan grabbed the alien's arm and twisted, bone cracked. The Rulvik howled and fled into the night. Kara stared at Evan like he'd grown wings. "You fought a Rulvik barehanded," she whispered. "For me." "You're my landlady," he said with a tired smile. "And my friend." Her tendrils fluttered wildly. Something had changed. Something big. Ending. Understanding each other. The next morning, Kara brought him a cup of glowing tea, a gesture in Tarshan culture that meant deep respect. She sat across from him, nervous. "Evan, I misjudged your species." He chuckled. "Because of the shower thing?" "Because of everything," she admitted. "Our people heard stories about humans. That you were chaotic, unpredictable, dangerous." "Some of us are," he said softly. "But humans are also loyal, protective. We fight for people we care about, even when it hurts." Kara's eyes softened. "Yesterday, I saw that truth." They sat quietly for a moment. Then she exhaled shakily. "And about your anatomy." "Oh, stars, Kara."
No.
"Let me finish," she insisted. Her cheeks flushed a pale lavender. I was startled, but only because your kind is new to me, and because our species would never grow like that. Understood, he said, trying not to laugh. She continued, tentatively, but I am not afraid of you anymore. He smiled warmly. I'm glad. And she hesitated, then added quietly, I am grateful you defended me. Truly. Evan looked at her. 8 feet tall, strong, proud, yet somehow shy around him, and felt a surprising warmth in his chest. Any time, he said gently. You're worth protecting. Her tendrils curled in a flustered spiral. You humans, she whispered, shaking her head, are not at all what I expected. Good surprise or bad surprise? Kara considered him. Then she gave a small, genuine smile. Good. Ending a new beginning. That evening, Kara returned with a repaired shower orb and placed it carefully in his room. I adjusted it for humans, she told him. Your privacy will remain intact. He laughed. Thank you. She lingered at the doorway. She swallowed. If you ever wish to talk again about your world, your people, your biology, I promise I will not panic. Evan grinned. I'll keep that in mind. As she turned to leave, she paused. Evan. Yeah. I am still mildly astounded by how humans are built. He groaned. Kara. But she smiled again, softer this time. I find myself less terrified, more curious. He raised an eyebrow. Curious? Perhaps one day, she said, cheeks flushing lavender, I will understand humans fully. Not just their fears, or their anatomy, but their hearts. And then she walked away, leaving Evan standing speechless and smiling like an idiot. Maybe Tarshan wasn't just a place to live. Maybe, just maybe, it was the start of something more. A friendship, a bond, a future.